So I'm Joe Murray, and I work as a procurement transplant coordinator for a couple of different nonprofit organizations. When someone is going to be an organ donor or faces that choice because they've had something really bad happen to them, the hospital, as required by law, has to notify their local nonprofit, and they send me out to kind of get analysis and examine a few things, a lot of medical records, try to find out what happened in the story. In the event of a brain dead organ donor, that's most of ours, then I clinically manage the patient in the ICU with their family at the bedside and try to keep their organs alive, even though they're legally dead already, long enough to do a bunch of testing, cross-match them with recipients, identify those people, and then get their surgeons to the hospital where I'm at. So I work at a different place every day. Just depends on where that case is. On the donation side, we work on the tragedy. We don't see that person receive the phone call from their doctor that they've got an organ that's going to save their life. But we know it happens. I had a recent case where someone received a single lung transplant, and 18 hours, I found myself going to that hospital for a different case where the transplant had been done. And I wanted to go visit him. And so I asked the nurse how he was doing, and she said, he's really angry. And I said, why? And she said, he forgot his iPhone charger cable, and he's sitting up in bed texting. And I was like, he had a lung transplant yesterday? There are 130,000 people on the waiting list right now, I believe. It changes all the time. And 22 of them die every day, and that's somebody every hour. And that person that is waiting on the top of the list, those are our friends and neighbors and our mailmen and our cousins and our parents and our teachers, all the people in our lives. Hundreds of people are involved in every transplant operation. There are nurses and docs, respiratory therapists, lab technicians. There are couriers. There are people that are screening cases. There are coordinators from the transplant centers who are representing their program and their patient who's going to be the recipient. And we have to make all of this work. You have to be able to spend time at the bedside with people that are saying goodbye for the last time. Of how do you tell a devastated family that has just had all the control taken away from them for their loved one who's lying in that foreign place, that ICU with beeps and IVs and ventilators, and you say to them, hey, we did a search on the registry, and we just want to let you know that your loved one is on the donor registry, which means that they have made the decision to give the gift of life, and we want to support those wishes, and we hope you'll join us. It's a little different when the person is not on the donor registry. And, we speak to families that we have to sit down with them and have a very, very difficult conversation on what is absolutely the worst day of their life, to try to find out if donation is right for this family. I mean, we have to speak very frankly with them, when they say, and tell them what would happen if they say yes. And we say, well, it's likely we could say 5 or 6 or 7 people who are hanging by a thread at the top of the list, and we don't know who they are. And they're out there, and they're waiting right now in an ICU someplace. Organ failure does not take a holiday. People need heart transplants, whether there's COVID or not. We have not seen as many unhelmeted bicyclists. We have not seen people flying off ATVs, not as many pedestrians that are struck by cars, because people are not out and about. We're seeing suicide, and we're seeing overdose and relapse. I've had more than my share of child abuse cases. We had a 26-year-old who had been clean for 2 years, had a full-time job, was, having a full, vibrant life. And he lost the job, and he was worried about eviction. and he was pinned in an apartment, tiny little place, and he overdosed. He called his dealer, hadn't talked to the dealer in many years, and he overdosed. And I was, at that time, we couldn't have family in the hospitals. So the nurse taped her phone to the overhead light, and we got in the frame so that his mom could see that he wouldn't be alone when we took his tube out. And then his mom sang to him like he was 3. There are human stories of folks that are going way outside a training or what your job description says. They're just standing up and doing the right thing for other people. And that has been inspirational for me. That's kind of kept me going. The average career length for what I do is about 2 years. I've been at it 12, and I've had the privilege of working with other people who have been at it longer than I have and trained a lot of people. They all come from different walks of life. I was a flight paramedic on a helicopter. We have people that trained from the start that had no medical background and developed an area of expertise. It's a good team.